Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So I'm busy out here in the garage constructing these ballistic shields and some Sappo plates. Check this out though. This is modeled after the BZT-75. One will be rated for pistols, and I have another one that's curing up right now as we speak that will be rated for rifle rounds. I'm extremely excited to complete these and go shoot them as I kind of love this shield design, honestly. But before that, because I have a lot that I want to shoot at once to break up into videos, I've been sitting on some footage for about 3 or 4 months now on how to construct a simple plate carrier. This was requested to me by a few people on my YouTube channel in the comments section. And depending on where you live in the world, I know you can just acquire these for very cheap. You can buy for like $20 a plate carrier because it itself is not ballistic. It's the Sappo plates that you put in it that are able to actually stop the bullets, right? So, but if you want to be able to build your own, stitch it together for your own aesthetic, or if you live somewhere else in the world where you can't get a plate carrier, obviously this would be the place to learn. So it's a very simple design. It was a lot of fun to make. I shouldn't say make, as it was my wife who actually made this. I just, gave moral support because I am shit at sewing. So anyways, we'll cover exactly how to stitch it out and the measurements you'll need if you want to do this at home. All right? If you're new here, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and let's get started, guys. All right, so I guess we'll start off by just talking about what a plate carrier is and what a Sappo plate is, right? Here we have actually the ceramic strike face from a legitimate plate, multi-curve, right? Isn't that cool? This is aluminum oxide. It's 12 by 10, and where you can determine your measurement is if you measure from basically the very base of your neck and where your chest meet to your belly button and in between your nipples. That measurement is where you will get the like 12 by 10 or 11 by, depending on your size. If you're a very broad-shouldered guy, then the 10 across might actually be a little bit bigger, and if you're a much smaller person, it might be smaller. 10 by 12 is kind of the general size. It's the middle and what most people will need for their sizing. And the sizing is based off of, obviously, the fact that people shoot center of mass. And even though everywhere on your body doesn't really like hot pieces of metal stuck in them, this area and this area generally really don't, right? I'd much rather get, hit in the forearm versus right in the heart when you talk about survivability. And as you can see, it fits and covers most of that. And so a simple plate carrier, one that's not made out of armored material like really nice ones, that's all this is aiming to do. It's just to cover those very vital areas, the heart, the lungs, that sort of thing. So as you can see, that's what we're working on making for this video, is just a simple construction that we can place our own homemade. Here's one that I already shot up, so it's kind of on the falling apart side, but you guys get the idea. So I just wanted to generally talk about this shape and size of these things, because depending on how broad your shoulder is, you might actually want to look at different plates that would go into the insert and maybe even let this out a bit. But this should cover for the vast majority of people. All right?
Okay, so these are the patterns I made. I based it off a pre-made vest we already had. You can pause it to look at the measurements. That's just the starting point. You can adjust as needed. Then you pin it to the fabric in the interfacing and cut them out. I also recommend ironing your fabric first. Might seem annoying, but it makes the finished product look a lot cleaner and more professional. So iron. And then you want the little dots, because it's fusible interfacing you're using. You want the little dots, which is the glue, on the fabric. And then the iron's going to heat it up and the glue will melt and then fuse. And that's why I use a damp pillowcase, because it'll release steam. If your iron has steam, I guess you could do that. I never did it before, so I just did what the internet told me. So 5 to 10 seconds, press in each area to release the glue. And you go through and make sure everything's glued correctly. If not, you just repeat the process until it is. It did take me a few times, like I said, first time doing it. Then you cut the webbing to how long you want it, and then you can burn the edges and it keeps it from fraying. Do not cut it lengthwise, only cut it widthwise. If you cut it lengthwise, you completely ruin it and it's useless. And then you just pin it down and sew it. I did a zigzag stitch and I did 3 rows, so down, up, down. And then I did Velcro, which I hated. I did a straight stitch. I couldn't get my tension right because it was my first time using this machine, and just ended up with a lot of jamming issues, which was frustrating. So also zipper feet apparently can help you if you're sewing a lot of Velcro. And if you buy a new machine, a lot of times it comes with the zipper foot, which I didn't know. So I had one, but didn't know till afterwards. So, but honestly, the Velcro is really strong. You probably didn't need 2 layers, but I guess depending on how heavy your plate is, it might help. And the fuzzy side was really easy. It was really the hook side that gave me a lot of jamming issues. And then you want the 2 right sides facing each other so you can pull it inside out when you're done stitching it. I thought this would give me a bigger pocket, so that's why I did it this way. Aesthetically, I don't really care for it. I would have just preferred to do like something on the border, like bias tape, but I was more concerned with getting a pocket big enough to fit a plate, so I did it this way. I did a straight stitch, and I only did like a single stitch. I didn't like go back a bunch for this. But I also forgot to stitch the straps before doing that. So before this step, you should probably do the straps. It'll look cleaner when you do it that way. Then you turn it inside out and you got yourself a little pocket. Or I guess a big pocket. And this is him showing off what I did. And then yeah, so got these are for the clips. And they're really easy to stitch. I think I did a zigzag stitch for these maybe, but then a straight stitch. I did a box and an X in the middle of them, because I think that's supposed to be more structurally sound, so I did that. Kind of eyeballed where it looked, so it looked in the middle. Very professional, I know. It was probably the simplest part of it. I didn't mind this part at all. Pretty laid back. And then I didn't like the overhang, which I should have done before I stitched all the stitching, but what are you gonna do? So I went with some tailor's chalk and kind of made a line and cut it so it would at least look a little more flush and not so derpy. And you got the end product. You can see the little box X thing I made. So definitely recommend doing that. You can pause to see the measurements. Like I said, a lot of it I kind of tried to make even. Definitely model this before you put the straps on, to mark where you want the straps, because they look okay laying down, but actually on a person with a plate they look kind of derpy. So also another recommendation. So there's a lot of stuff I'd probably change if I did a 2.0, which I have enough fabric left over, I might. But overall it holds a plate, structurally sound, so I guess that's a little victory.
Alright, so there you have it. A pretty cool little plate carrier. What she was talking about at the end, though, is the location of this strap in particular. just kind of, she eyeballed it based off of the original plate carrier that we based it off of, but because we took out the size a little bit and changed it, the location of those straps, I mean, it works, but if you even bump this up a little bit from being really low on the bottom of this up, it would pull it back more, so you wouldn't have to like run these straps all the way down. So that's what she's talking about, possibly moving that up so it doesn't pinch up in the back. But all together, I mean, it works. I have plates that I already shot up, or else I would show you guys. But you'll definitely see it in the future on this channel when we're sizing things. It handled a plate all the way up to 1 1/4 inch profile thickness, right? Kind of the thickest plate I would ever make for the channel. And it fit in here just, just fine. So you guys will definitely see more of this. And if she makes a 2.0, I'll show you guys that as well. So a huge thank you to my wife for actually stitching this together for me and showing you guys. Alright, well, we have a lot coming up in the near future on this channel, guys, so make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Got plates, got shields, got a vehicle. Life is good, boys. Life is good. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.